Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. If you are watching me on video, then you'll see my dogs in the background. I am working from home, um, and I just saw one of them move. Okay, so you can kind of see them now. But I am doing this episode, recording it right before I head out to chaperone my son's final field trip of fifth grade. So they're going to a swimming place today nearby. So I'm getting ready to head out, but wanted to take the time to record this and not leave it till the last minute like last week. But yeah, so today's episode fits the theme of kind of where my life is right now and where a lot of us are. So my kiddo is 10 and he's finishing fifth grade, which here is the end of elementary school for us. And so in August, he'll start middle school in sixth grade. And I'm struggling with it. It's just, I'm excited for him and all the new things that come with that, but it's just hard watching our kiddos grow so fast and, just being aware of how quickly everything is going by. That's always hard for us as parents. And so I try to be a part of everything that I possibly can with him and just kind of soak up these moments. So volunteering for that today is another event tomorrow, and then that's it. On Wednesday, it's his last day. So today's episode is about time and not taking time for granted. And I'm thinking of this for several things, but specifically right now, just kind of the conversations that I'm having with a lot of even just, friends, even on our street, just all of us are, I mean, really everyone, any person that you talk to who has kids or, is going through, well, yeah, really mostly right now, I'm talking to people who have kids. Like it's the same. Like, oh my gosh, time's flying by so fast. Can you believe this person is, starting school already for the first time, or going off to college, or finishing college, or getting married, and time just flies. And any kind of whether you're having surface level chit chat with someone that you don't know very well, or you're having detailed, very deep conversations with people you know well, this topic of time and how fast it goes by, it comes up for all of us all the time, but especially right now when it's the season of graduations and, just the ending of one thing of school and starting of another thing. It's something that a lot of us are talking about. And so, for a lot of parents, it comes with a lot of strong emotions, hopefully mostly good emotions, but for some people, it's negative or sad, for parents whose kids are ready to move off and go to college and leaving home for the first time. That's really hard. And so, for all of us that are going to be crying this week or have already been crying because graduation has already happened for some people, it's just good to kind of take the time to think like we just cannot take time for granted. It's whether it's something structured like this that's ending or just the reality that anything can happen at any point to anyone. It's just so important to remember that we cannot take time for granted. And that is, saying it is one thing, but then what do you do? What does that mean to not take time for granted? And for me, that means don't waste days, don't waste time. There's so many things that we are responsible for every day, things that we have to do to just maintain our responsibilities at home, at work, self-care, taking care of our children, just doctor's appointments, everything. We have a lot of things to do every day. And it's amazing how fast every day goes by. And before you know it, the day passes and you haven't really gotten certain things done. But there will always be things that didn't get done. There will always be things that you didn't quite get to, whether it's on your to-do list or just something that's in front of you that you've been, you notice needs to be done and you didn't do it. But the biggest thing I think that we lose track of as far as time is spending time with the people that are closest to us, because it's not usually a to-do list item, right? If I have things that I need to do around my house or around my job, I usually will write it down. I'll have some kind of structure of organization to it because I want to make sure it gets done. I don't want to forget it. So it'll get done. But when it comes to family time or friend time, things like that, do we take the same approach? Do we put the time in to be organized and structured to make sure we don't miss out on things that we want to do with our family. And for some people that sounds silly, why would I make a to-do list about spending time with my family? But honestly, is it that crazy? I don't think so. I think it's really amazing to think about taking the time to budget out time, I guess, to spend with your family. To say, you know what, today at 6 o'clock, I want to set a reminder on my phone that says that I'm going to go sit with my child and we're going to talk about their day. Or I'm going to sit and play a video game or a card game or a board game, or we're going to go for a walk. Why is that so bad? And a lot of people that I work with, a lot of families that I work with, this is simple guidance that I'll give them about how to increase positive time with their family. And for some people, that is, they take that, they run with it, and it ends up being really, really, really good. And for others, they have a hard time wrapping their mind around that, mostly because they think they shouldn't have to. So they get stuck in this place of like, well, I shouldn't have to set a reminder to do that. I should just be a better parent. Or I think that's silly. I'm not going to do that. But we're better parents because we take the time to do that. We're better parents because we are we're intentional with the time we're spending with our kids and with our spouses. We are being responsible, but we're also being caring enough to make that a priority. And a lot of us don't. A lot of people don't. And I think that that's something that I'm going to, kind of really, really encourage you to do today, because if you are the kind of person that is sitting very aware of how quickly time has passed with your kids, then that is kind of a yucky feeling. Like, a lot of people have been telling me that they just are sad or they're crying a lot, and that's normal. We're all going through some kind of transition with our kids as the school year ends. But what are we going to do about it? What are we going to learn from it? How are we going to make sure that we are taking advantage of the time that we have and not letting time continue to slide by without us being present in the moment? Time always flies. It's just, there's nothing we can do to slow it down. We can do quite a bit to make the most of it. And that's something that I personally always try to do. Part of it for me is the intention behind it. And part of it, honestly, is just the natural guilt that I feel when I don't. That's just my personality. I tend to feel guilty and anxious if I'm not spending whatever the enough time in my head is with my son and my husband. And so naturally, I end up doing a whole lot of it because I don't like the feeling of guilt. And obviously, there's too much to anything. It's important for me to work on, why do I feel guilty about that? Where is that coming from? Why, it's still okay to do things that take me away from that time with them. All that, excuse me. And that's something that I'm mindful of and I work on. But at the end of the day, for me, it comes down to the reality that I have one child and he's 10 and time is flying by, and I want to make sure that I am there for as many memories as I possibly can for him. I want to be part of his life as much as I can be. I want to, teach and love and spend time doing all the things. That's very important to me. And that's a big part of my perspective of my role as his mom. And same goes with my husband. Like, that relationship is just as important. And I think a lot of times we have a hard time as society balancing our relationships because there is only so much time in the day, and there are a lot of other things that we want to do. Lots of people don't just have one kid, they have multiple. Part of us deciding to have one kid was because that was very important to me. The time was very important, and knowing that having more than one wasn't going to allow me to have that time was a part of that decision for me, about how many kids we were going to have. Same for my husband. So whatever your situation is, however many kids you have, however many responsibilities you have, that is all perfectly fine because it fits in your life for a reason. You chose it for a reason. So this is kind of a good check-in with yourself about, are you doing things the way that you would really like to do them? Nothing is perfect. Nothing you do, no system, no checklist, no to-do list, nothing is going to give you the perfect amount of time and the perfect quality of time. It's just not possible. So please don't aim for that. And don't think by any means that I'm encouraging you to do that, because it's not possible. But there is a good kind of goal to set about like what is the kind of interaction and the kind of time that you would like to spend with the important people in your life, whether it's your children or your significant other, your parents, your friends, whoever, because you might be really, really well balanced in one aspect of your life, but really wish you could kind of level up and increase or improve the time you spend with other people in your life, or the time you spend doing something else that really would contribute. Because there's some people that are great there with their kids every moment of the day, but they need to focus on having a break so they can do things that they want to do on their own, or nurture self-care, or start a business or whatever. So it's not just about kids, it's about time in general. But for the sake of this conversation, I'm just kind of focusing on the kid thing because it's current. But what are you doing, or what can you do starting today to even just have one little thing a day that you say, okay, every day I'm going to spend 5 minutes with this child of mine, or with each kid, 5 minutes, uninterrupted, just one-on-one, and we're going to take that time to really talk about the day, or just laugh and joke, play a game, whatever. And that little decision can really make the difference in your life, in your child's life, in building memories, in taking away any kind of guilt you might have, all kinds of things, So that's just an example, but it kind of the point here is for me to help you hopefully generate some thoughts and ideas about what are you going to do to take as much advantage of the time that you have, and not always be in a situation where you look back and wish you had done more with someone, or spent more time with someone, or whatever. And so again, no amount of time spent is ever going to be enough, but it's better than nothing. And that's kind of what I'm here to tell you, is just do something. Do something with the people that matter to you, even as a family. It doesn't have to be one-on-one. Just spend that time, because here we are at the front of summer, and a lot of people who work and their kids are home or in camps, your life is different right now than the structure that comes with school. Or if you're home with your kids over the summer, a lot of things are different than the structure of school. And so, you can go into the summer with new goals and have kind of hopes to do something. Again, even if it's just a few minutes a day, what are you going to do to say, you know what, yes, time flies. It will always fly. And I can't believe we're already here. But I'm so thankful that we took a little bit of time every day this summer to do this, or every week, or we planned an event or a trip or something. Whatever it is that you feel like you can do, or that you want to push yourself to do, please do that. And this also really came at a time for me that was current with the situation too, because one of my very sweet and good friends who lives right across the street from me shared with me yesterday that her and her family are moving away, quite away. And so that made me so sad, happy for them, but so sad, because in my mind it was, there's always time. We've all been busy. We haven't really been hanging out, but we'll make time. Maybe we'll find time to go to lunch or do something. And now I'm in this place where I'm like, that's it. They're moving in a couple months, and that, and that's life. Couldn't have done anything to predict or prevent that. But it just again made me think, like, who is it that I need to spend more time with? Who are the people that matter to me that I should be talking to more and spending time with more? And there is only so much time in the day, and it's never gonna fit everyone that I want to spend time with. But and honestly, a lot of the times I spend my entire day being social and talking, and so by the end of the day, I don't want to talk to anyone but my husband and my child. And so that plays into it too. But it's important, because then this feeling of, oh, I'm sad that my friend is moving, that's never a good feeling. But it also always comes with, oh, I wish we would have done this more. And again, that's life. There's nothing we can do about it. But I know a lot of people can relate to that. I know lots of people who deal frequently with moving, or having people near them that move, having kids go through transitions. Sometimes it's not even our struggle, it's our kids, having to help our kids through their own transitions and losing friends to moves or to changing of schools or something. And so I think these are things that we should impart on our kids too. We should teach our kids, don't take time for granted. Look, if you have things that you want to do, don't spend all day playing video games. Like, yes, video games are fun. Balance it out. Teaching kids how to balance time is a very important skill that we should be trying to teach our kids, and we should teach ourselves, because I think also it kind of goes into stuff we've talked about before, where we get sucked into things like social media and just wasting time. And entertainment on social media is important. I get it. It's a good distraction from some things in life. Sometimes it's just nice to unplug. But we just have to be mindful of the fact that sometimes it is a huge waste of time, because there are other things that we could be doing that would give us just as much reward and gratification that just we don't realize that we need. Spending time with family, playing games with your kids, going on a walk with your kids. Those things feed you in a way that can't be matched by social media and TV and things like that. And we all do it. I consume Facebook and Instagram just like everyone else. But it's not about whether you're doing something wrong at all. It's about being mindful of the time, being mindful of what you are prioritizing, how you are prioritizing it, how you're spending your time. And so kind of taking it right back to the beginning, don't take time for granted. We don't get more chances. Do the most that you can with your kids, with your family. Soak it up. Don't spend time fighting and being mad at each other. And if you get in those situations where you have conflict, because that's normal, try to heal it as fast as possible and go right back to good, because it's not worth it. It's not worth having open-ended conflict when time is so short. It's not worth hanging on to frustrations when time is so short, and also just remembering that, like, with every one of these stages that our kids go through and all these transitions, our kids are growing, we're growing, the things that they want to do with us change. And so we just have to kind of keep up a little bit and make sure that we're, investing the right amount of time and the right activities with our kids to just keep that growing, keep it maturing, So on that note, I will wrap up. I'm going to get ready to go on a field trip. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. For those of us that are going through school transitions, we will be crying. I'm not even going to try to hold it back at this point. It's a beautiful thing for our kids to grow. It's a beautiful thing for them to be moving into different stages of life. And it's exciting, but it does come with a punch in the heart a little bit that just kind of reminds us how quickly our kids are growing. So enjoy your children, enjoy these transitions, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.